Hey, how's it going? So today I'm really excited to make this video. We're doing Arnold Schwarzenegger's male advantage journey. So what a male advantage journey is, we basically take a look at the I'll show you some pictures. We take a look at the actor's life, what he's been through, and how the person made it to success. So it's basically like we basically tell the successful person's life story so that hopefully it'll be super inspirational. Also, look at how cold it is. Like I'm wearing, I'm wearing like my bathrobe, the dressing gown, morning gown, whatever, the fucking jacket, bleach stained jacket, gloves. Like it's super cold right now. But yeah, shout out to First Man. So this is Chris's idea. He's done like videos on other people's success stories and whatnot. So fully inspired by him, shamelessly stealing this concept. So, yeah, go subscribe to him, go watch his videos. But yeah, so let's get into it. Without like, I don't need to introduce you Arnold Schwarzenegger's, but like, yeah, when I listen and hear successful people's life stories, it's really inspiring. So this is him as a kid, just a normal kid, man. Just if you look at these people, if you look at these kids, yeah, I mean his head, right, kind of seems big, but other than that, like normal kid, right? This is him in school, and so I was born in July 30th, 1947, in Thal, Austria, and this was after the World War II, and basically, if you don't know, Austria is like basically like kind of like a German nation in a way, kind of. It's like Germanic. So basically, they lost World War II, right? It's a pretty depressed place, right? They lost World War II, and the guys are like, "Oh shit, we were the bad guys. We lost." Oh, so it was pretty a hopeless place. It looks super beautiful, right? But yeah, he was born there. His father was super strict, and he realized he saw movies of America and whatnot. He saw these muscular guys like, oh, I need to get to America. I want big stuff, and like you gotta think of the ambition he had, man. Because sure, I mean this looks beautiful, right? You see this, you're like, oh man, I love to live here. Look at the green scenery, the houses. I could bike around. That's what I think. I'm like, but like you probably wouldn't want to live here for you probably wouldn't want to strive and thrive in here if you're an ambitious person, right? It's just like, oh yeah, it's got fucking homes, and then I'm gonna be a farmer or something, right? Doesn't look promising, right? When we compare to the city life or America and whatnot. So he sees these guys in the magazines, like this is Reg Park, like fucking look at his Jay, that's massive, holy crap. But like he see these muscle building magazines and stuff, this young boy, and he starts weight training at 14. So Arnold Schwarzenegger starts weight training at 14, and if you look at his physique here, right, it just kind of looks normal in a way. It's just like, oh yeah, it's just kind of looks like oh yeah, it's kind of like high school muscular, where like someone had a shade, an ab shade, they would immediately be like jacked, right? Just obviously his training, he looks fairly muscular, but like still decent. But you got my point. And then he starts training with his buddies. You can tell like he had really good potential. He had wide shoulders, bodybuilding wise, nice chest, all that stuff. He was fairly lean compared to the other people around him. So yeah, he keeps training, and this is actually his first bodybuilding show. And yeah, like um I know that with like the current social media and stuff, this physique like we would say it's dog shit, right? It's not like a great physique, but like he actually wins the bodybuilding show looking like that. So just goes to show how much like social media and bodybuilding has, and drugs and steroids have like gone over the thing. He's natural here, by the way. If anyone's like curious, he's natural here. And yeah, he says this is what I'm gonna do. He sees these guys and was like, I'm gonna be like these guys, and like this is him right now. He's like, okay, maybe I can do it. Like he knows years, he needs to put years, possibly like 10 years to do this, but like he's like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. And he tells a story about how his dad told him to do something useful, go chop wood, but it was like, no, I'm just gonna bodybuild. He talks like in his book Total Recall. I'm just telling the stories from there. He remembers doing. I remember him doing like 100 sit ups every day, stuff like that, and yeah, he was also during this time kind of doing some low wage jobs, like working at like a wood chipping factory and whatnot. So yeah, this is in weightlifting. Yeah, wood chipping. I don't know why I put an Indian dude, but yeah. And now this is him at age 19. What the fuck, right? Looking like a fucking fridge is like, fucking hell. If I ever look anything close to this by the time I'm 30, I'm like, cool. But yeah, looking like this, he actually wins another show. I'm not gonna say talk about every show he wins, but he basically makes a plan in his head. He wants to get to America, right? He has his vision. Basically, his vision right now is to, okay, I'm going to escape Graz, I'm going to look like one of these guys, and I'm going to get to America, right? Because, well, I don't know, he just wants to get to America, fair enough. And he wins the competition looking like this. Now, this is a great physique, but still, like, compared to Arnold, is like, he still looks skinny there, right? His face is, like, kind of looks boyish and whatnot, right? But he wins, obviously, he looks great and whatnot, yeah. He wins. Then he gets drafted into the military. That's right. So basically during that time in Austria, they had to do mandatory military service. So he decides that he wants to drive tanks, and yeah, he becomes a tank driver. Now there's a story that there was like a Mr. Europe or something in Germany, or like some competition in Germany. So while he's doing military service, he actually sneaks out of the military base or whatnot to go to the competition. And yeah, here's another picture of him. And then he actually wins it. Right? I don't think I put the picture, but he wins the competition. And then he was gonna get punished, but because he wins, he doesn't get punished, right? So right now he's just locked in. All he does is like work here and there, do bodybuilding, and just move on with his life. And then after his military service is done, so it's around 6 months, he actually moves to Munich, Germany. He worked in a gym and just trained, focusing on perfecting his physique, and began winning European bodybuilding competitions. Because at the time he got more muscular, he starts winning competitions. He was like, oh shit, yeah, I'm a bodybuilder. The only way I can get to America is if I just dominate Europe, right? So he starts to just dominate Europe, basically starts winning European bodybuilding competitions. And during this time, he talked about how he, in his book Total Recall, wanted to get into business. So to promote his gym, he actually like went out in public naked and whatnot, so that people would put him in newspapers. There's like, oh, this crazy guy, the crazy bodybuilder's prancing naked and whatnot, right? So he would create buzz. So during the time, he learns about advertising and sales and how to get people interested, which will be super useful to him in life. So some training. And also, this in the book, he talks about this is where he got introduced to steroids, basically. So just for the people, like this was, I'm not sure if this was him on steroids, but like these pictures were all him natty, just natural, no roids or anything, if anyone's curious. But yeah, here in Munich, he starts like kind of becoming a man of his own man, because he moves out. He also starts training with Franco Colombo. He starts working his own job, right? He lives alone. He's becoming a champion, winning shit. So he's like, oh yeah, I'm becoming like a man now. Because if you look at his previous pictures, it just looks like a boy, right? He's like, but now he's kind of like, all right, he's kind of living up to his physical potential. And let's be honest, this is it's a pretty great body, right? And then he doesn't speak English, right? Arnold, Austria, they speak German in Austria, if you didn't know. And to get better at English, and because there was a Mr. Universe or whatnot in London, he actually moves to London for a bit, and this is him talking to, is that Reg Park? I'm not sure. One of his heroes, I believe. But yeah, he moves to London, just here, and then he lives with this family who was into bodybuilding, and then he starts learning etiquette, like how to act around people. um I guess he gets introduced to like the art crowd, the Anglo-Saxon culture and whatnot. And yeah, he starts learning English around here. So what? Yeah, this is where he lived. Romford Road, East Ham. So he lives at East London. If anyone's curious, which is pretty fucking insane because, um, basically I lived close to him, kinda like couple. I don't. I guess like, yeah, I lived around his area code, which is pretty insane. When I used to live in the crack house, I was squatting. It's a long story, but yeah, pretty cool to know that I lived around the same place where Arnold lived. And then he wins the second Mr. Universe in London in 1968, right? And then this is where his plan, he checked the box in his plan, because Joe Veeder, he finally notices him, and Joe Veeder's like, oh, this guy, maybe he has some potential. He could sell. He could make. Joe Veeder says he could make me sell some shit. We could grow with him in America. So Joe Veeder gets him a ticket to America, right? He's like, oh, we have actually competitions in America. Come to America with me. So now he's like, okay, I'm going to America. Finally, I'm going where I want to go. This is what Arnold is thinking. So he was just a kid with a plan, right? It's what, 1968, right? He was a kid with a plan, and then for 20 years he just stuck to the plan, just focused on working on his physique for 5-6 years till now, or like probably 10 years, right? He's 20 here, so yeah, 6-7 years, and then he takes him to America. So this is him at America when he's age 20, 21, something like that. Yeah, pretty cool. And I just found this picture, and it looks kind of like if any of you was a student or went to university, this is like pretty relatable. You're just like sitting around some fucking stoner girls or whatever, right? Just around you. It's like, oh, Arnold fucking lived the uni life like we did. So that's it's pretty cool. I just found this picture. He also, when he came to America, he lived in a small flat. I think, yeah, I have a picture of it. He lived in a place like this. But yeah, so, and then he comes to America, he starts working around, but he actually loses, and he talks about in his book, this is where he cried. Like, he cried for the whole night because, here is the thing. When he came to America, he kind of leveled up. He's like vision, his what he saw, what he thought was good, kind of leveled up, because if you notice here, all the like Americans were kind of shredded. Right? This Frank saying he's shredded. Look at his abs, and look at Arnold. Arnold is like, compared to him, like Frank, like he is kind of fat, right? Like there should be a picture of him looking fat. Yeah, there we go. Like he was kind of looking, I don't want to say fat, obviously he's not fat, but like bodybuilding fucking competition standards, he was looking kind of pudgy, right? So he gets beat by the Americans, the Frank Zane is like, all right, next year I'm gonna get shredded, I'm gonna lose fat, and we'll see next year, right? He learns from his mistake, and yeah, this is him, like how much progress he's made. This is the house, and yeah, he starts training, keeps training at Gold's Gym. And while he was in America, he talks about it in his book, Joe Reader was only paying him $60 per week. So that's like $240 per month, which even if he adjusts for inflation, I highly doubt it'll be like, it won't be much, right? It'll probably be like $200 max. So Arnold realizes that he needs to work alongside bodybuilding to accomplish his goals and dreams, and not be financially dependent on a guy or like bodybuilding or Joe Reader and whatnot. So he actually starts in construction with his friend Franco Colombo, which he brought over, by the way. So they start doing construction, and he also starts a mail order business. So basically he needed money, man, and he was like, I'm not just gonna be a stupid lazy gym rat, I'm gonna start working on my goals and my dreams. So he works basically, which is pretty inspiring, right? Because a lot of bodybuilders we know nowadays, they just work out, they're just on their phone, and then they go home and then they play fucking Rainbow Six Siege or Fortnite, whatever, like some fucking retards, right? And while he does this, he actually also goes to multiple colleges. Now, he explains why he does this is because he's not a citizen. He cannot legally graduate or something, so he goes to different schools. This is him studying. He starts to learn English more. He's still struggling with English, man, but he is trying. He's trying. He learns about American businesses, like how to be a businessman and whatnot, because he wants to get into business, right? And what he does is, with that money, he basically invests in real estate. So let's read this quote together. He says, within 10 years, he had earned his college degree and he was a millionaire from his business enterprises in real estate, landscaping, and bodybuilding. He was also the winner of Golden Globe for his debut as a dramatic actor in Stay Hungry. Today, Arnold Schwarzenegger's net worth is 400 million, with 300 million of this being in real estate. So this is a good thing to know, because he didn't make money from, he didn't make his money from acting or bodybuilding or, what else did he do? Yeah, politics. He didn't make money from being famous. He wanted to be famous and then he pursued it. He actually talks about how he didn't want to be like other actors, financially dependent on the movie and whatnot. So he worked for his financial independence independently of his goals, if that makes sense. So it's like a long read, but this is, I copy pasted this. So one of the first things he did when he got on US shores was enroll himself. Let me just get a sip of water. Alright. One of the first things Arnold did when he got on US shores was enroll himself in a community college. He knew very little of English language, so it was a way to throw himself at something he knew would benefit him. Sink or swim, he would immerse himself in something that would force him to learn English. One of the other first things he did was to take that $2,700 and use it as a down payment on an apartment building. Think about that for a second. Here's a young man who arrived in the US with a modest amount of money and a lot of ambition. I mean, for me, $2,700 is fucking a lot. Like, come on. Like, fucking hell. That's a lot of money for me right now, alright? Don't shit on me like, oh, I'm a millionaire. I don't care. Okay, $2,700 is a lot. But you must understand that he worked for every penny, and like this was the money he won from basically winning bodybuilding like competitions and shows. Like, when we think about it, it's like, imagine being number one in so many competitions and that's all you have, $2,700. But yeah, anyway, right, he used that $2,700 to basically invest in real estate, right? So the first two things he did were force himself to learn the language and buy real estate. His first investment in real estate was a modest apartment building that cost $1,400. After a short time, he sold it for $3,060,000, all the while collecting rents that provided continuous income. Guess what he did with that $146,000 gain? He bought another apartment building, and after selling that one, he bought another. Here's an excerpt from an article on Arnold's early real estate dealings, which explains just how he treated his windfall from that first property. Rather than blowing it all, that's not his accent. I would rather than blowing it all. Okay, we're not doing the accent. Rather than blowing it all on, as most early 20s males might be inclined to do, he doubled down, reinvesting the profits back into another building. Once again, his investment proved a wise one, with him selling it for a tidy profit a short while after buying it. Each time, rather than spending the money on cars, alcohol, women, etc., as most early 20s males with his physique might have been tempted to do, he simply rinsed and repeated, one-upping his investment every time. A few years later, he was a millionaire. So yeah, like, this is kind of like super, this is a really nice thing to know that like Arnold didn't spend his money on women or cars or bullshit or alcohol, right? I highly doubt if he had like he was giving fuck what was the name? L Brooks like $100 on OnlyFans for feet pics. He saved up the money and then he invested it into real estate. And I guess I don't know much about real estate, but you can put a down payment, right? I think it's 10%. So that's what he did. And then he got people to live in the apartment and basically pay him. And he talked about when he wanted to pursue acting, he didn't want to be like those actors just working shit jobs just to pay rent. So I was like, oh, I'll just own the house. So pretty Chad mindset there. But yeah, some pictures of Arnold, and then here he starts like winning stuff. We talked about how he needed to get shredded. He gets shredded, right? He look at him fucking abs and all that, right? He gets shredded. He starts winning. He basically dominates bodybuilding, right? Yeah, sorry guys, it's super early. It's not super early, but it's a bit early and it's cold. And then here he gets into movies. So this is him, like just literally just arriving to New York. This is actually him as a kid, but now this is like his actual first starring movie role, which is Hercules in New York. If you haven't seen him, just watch a clip of it on YouTube. It's pretty funny. Now, here is the thing. Because Arnold was not American and he had a weird accent, he actually couldn't get many movie roles. And plus, we also have to keep in mind his physique as well, right? His physique is fucking massive, and it wouldn't like if I was in a movie, I'm not massive, right? Maybe I could pass in the background, but no way Arnold could pass in the background, right? So basically, when he was doing bodybuilding, he was getting movie role offers, but they were all like, I think I wrote here, the movie role offers he got was like extra Nazi officer or bouncer, and it was like, no, I want to be a star. I don't want to be a like typecast. I want to be the good guy. I don't want to be a villain. And basically, he was always getting movie roles like villains or Nazi people and whatnot. So he just refused. He knew that he wanted to be a star, and if it didn't fit his vision, he basically just refused. Right, Hercules in New York, and then he's training for the Mr. Olympia. Pumping Iron comes out. Now this movie was such a big hit, like outside of sports fans, right? And actually, I literally remember this movie was the movie that kind of got me into bodybuilding and lifting as well. I solemnly remember my memory. So I was in New York. I was in America. I'm not American for the people on Turkish. I was just there for summer camp. I was in America. And we had this gym. I don't want to say in uni, but in the summer camp we had this gym, right? We went to the gym, and I remember I was struggling to like incline bench press like 15 kgs. I was like, oh my god, I'm so weak, right? And then me and my friends, we found this movie on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever the fuck, Pumping Iron. I was like, oh yeah, I know Arnold. Arnold was cool. Let's watch the movie. And then we watched this movie. We were like, holy shit! Wait, people lift this? This looks so cool. So we got into lifting and stuff. And we would take shirtless selfies. Now, if you know my story, I look like shit. So I just take on like, fuck me, I look like shit. But like, yeah, we got into lifting. It's a pretty cool movie. So Arnold got super famous off that movie, and he actually got accepted into the art crowd and like was gaining celebrity status. He talks about right around here how he was starting to hang out with Andy Warhol and like the other celebrities, and I think he married the Kennedys or whatnot. He started dating Maria or something Shriver around this time, but we're not gonna go into that, right? And then he creates a buzz around him, gets the movie role, Conan the Barbarian. After he gets his movie role, he's like, okay, cool. He's fucking made it at this point. He's a household name, right? Arnold, everyone knows Arnold. Movie's fucking massive hit. And then he gets the Terminator role. Fucking G, right? If he's solid, he's made it, right? Terminator, household name. He's done it. He's made it. Best role ever, best movie ever. Arnold is a legend from now on, right? And then he it's in all these other movies like Commando, Raw Deal, Predator, Yeah, these movies are great as well, right? And then he becomes the Arnold we know. Now there's a politics. He becomes the governor of California, which he talks about how even though he was like a Republican, his team consisted both of Republicans and Democrats, which I think that's pretty cool. Like even if you have a political belief, to be man enough, to be smart enough to know that, oh, these people, fucking liberals with the blue hair, right? You may not be like the righties, but like they still have valid points, right? I think that's pretty cool. I'm not gonna go into his politics because I'm not American. I don't know shit. But I read his book. He talks about how it's been super hard and he's done great things and all that stuff. So yeah, yeah, and if you're American, you're gonna fucking get mad in the comments. Oh, actually, Arnold, fuck off, okay? Arnold is Arnold. I'm not American. I don't care, right? And then yeah, that's him, Arnold, just looking like a G, fucking G, right? So that is Arnold's male advantage story. I hope like it's been inspiring. He just worked for everything he's had. He worked for his physique. He worked for his even like citizenship status, his money, his body, his real estate, his investments, all that stuff, right? We go to the start, like he was a kid, yeah, and then he made it. Now, obviously, he's had an insanely successful life, insanely successful story. But it is kind of inspiring for me because what says that you can have a life like this, right? What's keeping you from having a life like this? Honestly, if you just are willing to put in the work and have a vision, then every day, right? Every day you can do the same things Arnold did, right? If Arnold wanted to be a movie star, so he took acting classes and he worked on his physique, and then he applied for movies and whatnot, and he didn't take no for an answer. He even changed agents at one time, all that stuff. So it's kind of inspiring when you have a goal and just work relentlessly to achieve it. Now, people would argue, oh yeah, he had the genetics, he was bodybuilding winner, but all that stuff. But okay, let's say yeah, he had great genetics. Yes, he did. That's fair point. But okay, maybe he wasn't a bodybuilding champion. He would still get to America. He'd still be like have a fucking sick physique, and he would still become a movie star and a governor. It's not like you need genetics to be a movie star. I guess like you need kind of need a certain look to play certain roles, but come on, fucking he still would accomplish his goals, right? Hard work and dedication and having a vision are the common themes here. Independence and freedom as well. Not be dependent on like some movie role. Actually, you know what? He has a story in Germany where do we have pictures of Germany? Munich. Well, we'll just put this where the guy invited him to Munich, Germany. This like gym owner, and he actually was like, "Hey man, I'll provide for you. You know, you're a great bodybuilder." But he was gay, so like Arnold was offered these indecent proposals, and he said no to them as well. So I don't know why I shared that, but yeah, just pursue a vision, man. It will take a long time because this journey we've shown you, right, took him 40, 50 years, right? His bodybuilding journey took him just 10 years alone. His acting journey, if you look at the movie timelines, let me see. Where is it? IMDb. Let's find IMDb. Yeah, so 79 to 87. It's like an 10-year journey, right? So things take time, man, and obviously people, and a lot of people our age is like, I'm 23, right? People hit my age are like, oh, life's over, I haven't accomplished anything. Oh, like, come on, man. That's not how it works. You have fucking years ahead of you, right? Years. Like, it took Arnold from the start of his movie career to even get to Commando and whatnot. It just took him 5 years. So these things take a long time, man. Just remember that. And it takes years to build a legacy. So yeah, that's the video. If you want more videos like this, I might do Sylvester Stallone next. So comment below, like the video, subscribe, all that stuff. Yeah.